Wyndham Clark, 1 under 67. Let's talk about that putt on 18. Obviously meant a lot to you. We saw the fist pump.
Yeah. I mean, I wanted to be in the final group. Every shot matters out here, and so, and on top of it, we couldn't see. So it was just the fact making it when we were kind of just feeling it and didn't really have the clearest of reads. So, yeah, there's a lot of emotion. It's a U.S. Open, and I wanted to be in that final group. So, yeah.
So it goes to say that you knew where you were on the leaderboard?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a huge scoreboard watcher, but walking up there, I kind of knew where we were at, and so I really wanted to be in that final group.
We'll go here to Sean.
Your first time in this final group, major weekend setting, how do you feel you handled it?
I felt like it was great. I mean, I played really good. The front nine, I kind of had it going. I was a couple loose shots on 6, not getting up and down there for birdie, and then not birdieing the par 5. But I felt like I handled all of it really well. I had 2 back-to-back bogeys, which were unfortunate, but followed up by a great birdie. And then birdieing it at the end, I felt like I handled all the adversity, and I feel like my best round is still out there.
We'll stay here with Sean.
As an Oklahoma State guy, what has Rickie meant to you, and then especially in inspiring the putter?
Yeah, well, honestly, Rickie's, I'd say one of the, if not the best Oklahoma State alum, as far as was so involved with the team. He always comes back. He gives his time. He talked to us multiple times while we were in college. And then even when I came out here, he's always, sending me notes of good playing, or even some tournaments he would tell me, hey, I think this is a better play to play off the tee. So Rickie's a class act and a great cowboy, and fortunate to have him as my friend. And then as far as the putter, it's we were playing at Medalist, where he belongs in Florida, and I hadn't been putting good, and this was right before Bay Hill, and I played with Rickie, and he just made every single putt. And so afterwards, we were practicing a little bit, getting ready for it, and I hit a couple, and I was like, oh gosh, this is really nice. So I texted the Odyssey guy, and I said, hey, can you make me Rickie's putter? And he's like, well, what specs? I said, the exact same. And so literally I had the exact same putter, and I joked with Rickie today, he changed the grip and cut it an inch. So I said, okay, I got to change the grip and cut it an inch. So.
Back right.
Hi, Wyndham. Take us back to your childhood as a very young golfer. You're out there, you're with your buddies, with your friends, you're lining up a putt, dreaming of winning the sport's biggest prizes. What, for you personally, what was that dream?
Well, I can remember a lot of times I grew up playing at Cherry Hills Country Club, and they have a putting green right by the 10th tee, and I'd be out there putting till dark. And yeah, you do that. I mean, you have putts just like I did on 18, where you can half see it, half can't, and no one's out there, and you're just calling out, whatever tournament it is to win. And so I've done it many times. So it's a little surreal to do it. Obviously it's a Saturday, but it's a little surreal to be in this situation. And honestly, I'm just really excited and looking forward to tomorrow and the challenge that it's going to bring. And hopefully it's my day.
Left to Dylan.
Are you always a big club twirl guy? Because that one on 18 was pretty ferocious.
Yeah, you're not the first one to say it. No, I don't twirl too often. The nice thing was I hadn't hit too many good shots in the last 5 holes, and it was a perfect number, and I knew it was going to be at least somewhere near around the cup. And so, yeah, I twirled it. It was kind of in the moment, and obviously the shot worked out. So, I mean, I'm not one that twirls that often, but when the shot calls for it, I do it.
And are you an emotional player in general, or pretty flatline? Where do you fall on that spectrum?
Well, I mean, if you think I'm flatlined out there, I'm not. I'm very emotional. I try to keep my emotions very level, just because I think that's how I play my best. But yeah, I mean, deep down inside, I want to fist pump every time I make a putt and talk trash and whatever. But I try to keep it as level as possible, because that's how I play my best.
We're going to go right to Dave.
Yeah, Wyndham, how big was a bogey on 17?
How big was it?
How big was it?
Yeah, it was huge. It's a tough pin for me. I hit a cut. It was hard to see. I didn't feel comfortable drawing it into that flag, and obviously to the right is the miss. If you miss in the left bunker, it's pretty much auto bogey as well. And so when I hit it, I didn't like my shot, but I thought I was just going to be in the flat in that hazard, which we did hit practice shots on Tuesday and Wednesday, and I was like, oh, you can actually get it up and down from here, barring getting a bad lie. And unfortunately, it kicked and went into a terrible spot. And so my caddy and I, it was an easy decision. It's like, we can't hit this on the green, so it's going to go to here, so we might as well just drop and try to get up and down from there. So making bogey didn't cost us the tournament, and I actually was one of the biggest points of today.
You seem very calm making that bogey putt. What keeps you calm on the golf course? What do you fall back on?
I mean, I just kind of try to stay within myself and not let any one shot dictate the next one. And so the minute I make that one, I'm on to the next one. And so I just try to stay within myself and focus on my mental goals and let the shots take care of themselves.
A few more front left to Brentley.
Tomorrow's Father's Day. Just want to know how big of a role your dad played in getting you prepared for a moment like the one you're going to face tomorrow.
Yeah, my dad was definitely the one that my mom first took me to play golf, but my dad was the one that really got me into golf. He picked it up just a few years prior to me starting at the age of 3, and every time I'd go golf at a young age was with my dad. There's so many memories of us leaving at 6 a.m., our family on like a family vacation, and we'd play golf and come back before noon, and that was the only way my mom would let us do that. And so we had a bunch of, there's a ton of memories. And then he took me to tournaments, and my dad played professional tennis, so he's an athlete, and he gets it. And so he instilled in me hard work and discipline, and I feel like I get a lot of my fieriness from him, and so he's given me a lot. I mean, my dad is a big reason of why I'm out here. So hopefully tomorrow can be a great Father's Day for him.
Front right.
You mentioned, excuse me, you mentioned the darkness. When did that start affecting you guys, and would you like to see earlier tee times tomorrow so it doesn't impact Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little ridiculous that we teed off that late. I would say right around hole 15 or 16, it started getting to where you couldn't see that well. And I mean, I don't personally understand why we teed off. I mean, we played twilight golf. I mean, at the end, it was, the last 2 holes, I 100% think my bogey on 17 was because I couldn't see, and I think Rickie's bogey on 18 was because he couldn't see. So I'd like to see us go off an hour and a half, 2 hours earlier. If we had a playoff tomorrow, we wouldn't be able to play the playoff because it's so dark. So, with that, I'm not trying to make an excuse, but it definitely was a challenge. I mean, 17, 18, like my putt on 17, I literally couldn't see it, and we just played, off of feel and how Rickie's putt came in, and then my putt on 18, same thing. John was like, well, it's kind of around here. Make sure you hit it soft because we don't want to blow this by. We need to tap it and come in. So, it's kind of tough, and it's crazy to think that we're doing that on the last 2 holes of a major when we could have teed off 2 hours earlier. But so hopefully tomorrow we don't have that issue.
2 more left to James.
Wyndham, you mentioned you've a pretty good relationship with Rickie. I'm wondering what's something that maybe the public would be surprised to learn about him?
With Rickie?
Yeah.
Rickie's a little older than me, so a lot of our relationship was more me a little bit idolizing him, and he was a role model and someone I aspired to be. We've had a lot of fun times in Stillwater together when he came back. I've played a good amount of golf with Rickie. I'm trying to think of a specific memory. Honestly, one of the funnier things is just the fact that I'm using his putter, and we kind of had a running bet with Joe Toulon, who's the Odyssey guy, of who would be the first one to win with the putter, and I fortunately got that one at Wells, and but we've kind of started a little trend out here of guys using the putter. So, I have the utmost respect for Rickie.
Last question, Todd.
Going back to your comments about finishing late, obviously you guys know that it's TV, right? But do you feel like it should be a little bit more important as far as how you guys perform than when it finishes for the East Coast time zone?
Yeah, it's TV, but it's, what is it, midnight in the East Coast? I still don't, personally, I don't quite understand it. I know we're West Coast and whatnot, and I know they probably have the say, but I would like to think that they would step in and be like, hey, we want to make sure it's in the light and we have time. And, definitely Rickie and I had a little bit of a disadvantage on those last 2 holes playing it in the dark. So, that's all I have to say on that. I've never really played a final round of any tournament in the dark. I have in my first few years on tour, I'm the last tee time off, and there's many times when we're trying to finish our last hole and I have to come back the next day. But it is crazy to think that we almost, honestly, we both could have called it if we wanted to on that putting green and said, hey, I can't see, and we play tomorrow, and I think that would look pretty poorly on both sides of it.
Thanks for your time. Good luck tomorrow.
Yeah, thanks, guys.